morning, everybody. I'm gonna open the kiln here and we're gonna see how it did. I'm gonna set you right here, I think, on the whatchamacallit here on the control box over here, and see if you can see what I see. Okay, here we go. Okay, there we go. Wow, goodness, there are my little hearts, my little patriotic hearts, and there's a whole bunch of stuff in there. Okay, well, I can't wait to start digging this out of here. So let's do right here. These are little hearts I made for, and they've got a hole in them up here so you can make a pendant, and it has a Q embossed, I guess you'd say, incised, embossed. Anyway, they all have a little Q on them. So these are for the Q team hearts. I'm gonna set those over there. I had them high because I wanted to fit them in there, and sometimes that's the only way you can do it is, and I have this blocked off, and there's a reason. I put a fence around this pot because the last time I fired anything with wax resist on it, it spit all over some of the things that were next to it. So this turned out really well, and I don't see any spitting on the fence. So I don't know if that prevented it or if it was something else. That's odd, isn't it? Okay, so that's cute. Little vase with a ginkgo leaf on it. Okay. So somebody wanted to know how I how I glazed and fired those ribs. In my last video, I showed you how I was making custom ribs for throwing. And this is how I glazed both sides. And I have this balanced onto, and I'm showing you the side because it doesn't look like it warped. Well, yes, it did, just a slight bit right in there on the edge. And for all I know, it was warped like that before, but I think it'll still be useful. And so I probably need two hands to take there's one of them. Let's see, there, got both of them. So what you do, you have little spots there, so where the stilt was, so you just take a little sandpaper and smooth those off, and it won't interfere with the function of this, but this will be very handy for throwing. Okay, so that's how I glaze them and how I fire them. Here is another, this is a perfectly round shape for throwing. So this will be for throwing globular things. If you want it to be perfectly round, globe or something, moon jars, things like that. That's what I use something like that for. So that'll be interesting to use that and see how it works. Now this one is for fixing the shoulder on something, the shoulder of a pot. So here's a little pot. This is the shoulder right here where it decides to turn. And then, of course, this is the neck. So sometimes you need something, let me get this off of here without doing some kind of surgery on myself. Well, I'll just show you without taking that off. But sometimes you can stick this inside of a pot, and then you, with this part right here, you can pull a shoulder up if your shoulder has sagged or something. So, okay. I'm going to go kind of fast, I think, because it's already 90 degrees and it's only about 7:30 in the morning. So, and here's another one. This was just a little round one to fix little spots in a pot. And here's another one for pulling up a shoulder, only on a smaller pot. Kind of looks like a little comma, doesn't it? Oh, I love this teapot. Now on teapots, I've begun to, excuse me, I have begun to glaze the bottoms because I've noticed that they get kind of grungy. And I've also begun to glaze this part and do the lid separately. So here's what my lid looks like. I have one of these little things right here. And this is bare clay. So I can set it, excuse me, I can set it in the kiln just like that and then put it in there like that. So when you use a teapot a lot, some of you will know this, this gets kind of stained and it looks dirty because you can't get that out. You can't get the tea out of it. So I love the profile on this one. It's very cute. It's very traditional looking pot. Okay, so let's move on here. Okay, here's a small mug that's copper float with iron luster and Shino cream around the top, and that, see these little dots on the outside? That's kind of what they look like on the inside if you dribble glaze around them. They kind of run down sort of evenly. I didn't put that much on this one, so. And this one has a little spout. So this could be used for, see, now you can see the spout. That can be used for soup or beating an egg to fry. Oh, here's the bottom of a cute little thing. Here's the lid. And again, I leave the lid bare on the edge so that it can be glazed separately. I didn't want to take a chance on putting it on there and having it stick. I have a bad habit of thinking, well, I'm going to separate those when I put them in the kiln. Sometimes I have been known not to do that. And it is really heartbreaking, you know, to have a lid stuck. Anyway, you know the rest of that. Okay, here's how I fired some other things. I made some biscuits, and this one has a hole in it, so I can use this one right side or wrong side. But so I've got glazed in this spot right here. So and this isn't high enough to reach that. So I put it just, or did I put it like this? I think I put it like this. So that the weight of the lid would rest on, so the weight of the lid rests on this inside ring. And then if I put it like that, there's a really good chance that it's not going to warp and that I won't mess up the glaze on the inside. But that's a lid for a salt jar. That's glass, purchased, and I broke the lid to it, so I made another one. Okay, next, let's see what we're gonna do. Here's the big top to the bird bath, but boy, that is so pretty. I might have to use it for some kind of kitchen service. That is beautiful. Perfect. The glaze is perfect. And there's the back. Sometimes if it isn't necessary, I don't trim a foot on the bottom of everything. Some people do. The edge of this was bare. I wiped the glaze away so that the little birdies would have some texture to land on it at least, and if they want to jump in, I suppose I could put a rock or something in there that they could jump onto for a little landing. Here's my little beads. I forget what color glaze I used on those. I do not remember the color of the glaze. And this one fell off, but it did okay. Oh, that's a Q heart. Oh, both sides. Very good. Okay, so I'm gonna shut it off. Oh, here's another rib, and here's a little. This looks like a candle holder. It may turn into a pin cushion for a quilter. Those have been very popular. So that looks like it's copper float with a bunch of stuff. Let's see, it has iron luster and a little bit of oatmeal on there. Oh, I'm doing I'm featuring oatmeal on a upcoming video. It may come out before or after this video. And I'm showing you how to keep oatmeal where it should be, because my oatmeal, let's see, my oatmeal does this. It just cracks and looks bad. It looks like a dry riverbed. So, where's another one? I think that's the only one I put out here to get fired, but you have to be careful with that. So, I'm gonna get all these stilts out of here, and there are some more ribs. Anyway, we're going to get to the next level, so I'll be right back. It's funny how all this stuff shrinks after it's glaze fired. Higher temperature, of course, and everything. Oh, somebody asked me about my my bead trees, and let's see if I can get this without losing anything. I make these myself, and so here's how I did it. I would recommend raku clay to do this, but if you use stoneware, it works. This is actually stoneware on here, and I make my little bead tree. I made a round one for a particular project, and it has sagged. Here's a profile on it. It has sagged almost none since I made it, and I've used it over and over and over. And you just get some high temperature wire. Let's see, I'll put that out there so you. Okay, there we go. See those little hooks coming out of it? That is high temperature wire. This is a hollow, just a tube. It was a slab, and then I just rolled it up and stuck these things in there. Every time I ever used a bead tree, the wires that you string across there would sag, and all my beads would fall to the middle and stick together, and it was just a mess. And so I thought, well, I can solve that problem. So anyway, here are, whoops, that one touched the ground. Look at that. I can fix that with a grinder, I believe. And then on your beads, you either have a hole in them so that you can stick a hook through it, or you have, let me see, you have a little, let's see if I can get that where you can see. You have a little loop stuck into the top of the thing. Let's see. Can you see that little loop? So you can have that stuck in the top and just hang them from there. And other than stupid mistakes like this one that I make, where I hang it too close to the ground, it works every time, and I never have beads that actually float towards each other and stick. Okay, so let's look in here. Oh, yay. I'm looking at these little, so there's a teapot. Okay, let me set you down because this is going to take 2 hands, I think. I wish I had a cameraman. It would be so much better. Okay, I'll get them up here where you can see them, and I'll try to keep it in the picture frame here. I was so excited about these. I don't know if this worked or not. It did. I was upset with these when I first made them because I didn't have this top part on there. And so I stuck this one to, so I made a top part. I needed to have more air getting into the chamber where the candle is supposed to be. And so I made that, but then I stuck it to this part right here. I stuck it with glaze and fired it again. Now this part has only been fired once. This part dulled a bit because it's been fired twice now. So that is a problem, but these were experimental. That's okay. This was experimental to begin with, and now I know I'll try it with a candle. Pretty sure that this is going to work because I've been messing with them, and so I will know how to make them from now on. So let me set this down. I think there's another one in there that I tried. That one doesn't look like it got up as far. Oh, okay. This one isn't as tall. Let me see if I can make this so you can see. I just put little beads, got a little ball of clay between there to remove. Now it's upside down, so this has a thing in the house that it sits on, and it's a separate piece. But so I have holes in this one in the top, and I've got some holes in this part there. So this should have enough air. We'll see. Like I said, they're experimental, so we'll see if this worked. And if so, I'll be making more of those in the future. Okay, let me get my teapot. Oh, look. There's a little cute baby boy. This is sea mist. I love this sea mist glaze. It's very stable. Uh-oh. Well, I'm going to have to hammer the lid off of that one. I don't have glaze in here, but sometimes in speckled clay, the specks cause something to stick. And so I'll take that off with a hammer. Okay. This is so cute. This is a little girl pig, and it has freckles. Isn't that cute? Freckle pigs. Little pink freckled piggy girls. That one's cute too. I like his ears. Or let's say her ears. The pink ones are for girls, and the blue ones are for boys. I've done them in a whole bunch of other colors, but everybody likes the blue and pink because they're buying them for grandkids or babies, that were just born or something like that. This is a vase, and I wiped the glaze away from the edge, and it's got white underglaze on the inside. Very nice. I have silly girls in my neighborhood. They waved. It's cute. Okay, let's see. Oh yeah, the teapot. Ta-da. This one is built for just everyday use. It's very simple, and there's no frills, and I glazed it this way. I have a little stilt right there in the middle, and I have a stilt on the bottom. So that's the way the lid fits on that one. This is so cute. I love it. Okay, what else? What else? What else? Oh yeah, the eye washer with the eyeball in it. That one looks like it's been up all night. Okay, so this is Smoky Merlot with iron luster on the rim. Quite a bit of iron luster. You can see that it runs quite a bit. Okay, here's a little. Now this one had oatmeal around it, but I didn't put much. So that's Smoky Merlot, Tiger Eye. That Tiger Eye, yeah, that was the one that was supposed to have pops of red and purple, and it does. As you can see on there, it has purple and red. And it has iron luster around the top, and probably some oatmeal or some cream, cream. What was something cream? I'm too hot. I can't think straight. Oh, and this was the one that I was checking. I think I fixed it because there was a crack on the bottom in that little groove. And that's the reason that I glazed the bottom, because I normally don't glaze the bottom, but it didn't break through on the top. And you can't even see where it is on the bottom, so that's good. That was a fix. That was 100% good fix. Here's a little pouring thing. I guess you could call this a creamer. Oh, I bet this goes with this. Okay, yeah, those two go together as a set. Okay, so what else do we have? We have a pouring thingamajig. These are good for filling your iron or melting butter or whatever, and that's sea mist with iron luster and oatmeal around the top. And let's see, here's a nice mug. Oh, look. That did something different. Now, the bottom shelf of the kiln is usually the hottest, for me anyway. So that's copper float with iron luster around the top, and that is sea mist on the inside. See where those little dots are? I love how that goes around them. That's so cool how the glaze does that. So that's how it's going to sit on one of those burners. Isn't that neat? So you can keep your coffee warm, but you have to be careful if you're using it in your sewing room so you don't set something on fire. This was a do-over. I think I put sea mist on the outside of it. It had shivering. This, and by the way, this is porcelain. It's just an old thing I had. And I put, so the glaze had shivered off of this originally right around here, and it's still not very smooth, but at least there's glaze covering all of it, and so a little sanding and that'll be a usable tea bowl. Really doesn't look too bad, does it? I mean, it actually looks good. There's a little spot right there. They're shivering, or just the glaze just didn't cover. I don't know. That could have been a reclaim or something. It's been around here forever. And I just thought, well, just for kicks and giggles, I'll try to. And this is probably a toothbrush holder because it's too small for silverware in the kitchen. There's the hole and the little tray, and there's my stilt stuck to it. Okay. I'm going to put it back in here because I don't have any more room. Oh, this might be the one that had oatmeal on it. It is, yes. So that's sea mist. Unbelievable. It turned it kind of green. Sea mist is usually blue. And the oatmeal, there was oatmeal all around here on the rim of this. And it caked up just like this one did. Okay? It caked up just like that, so I just left it. But I'll bet you anything that some of that stuff fell down onto this part, and that's what turned it green. Interesting. I can work with that. Shoot, yeah. Because see, here's a comparison. This sea mist is blue, and this thing is green. Has a very green tint. So, okay, good to know. You learn stuff. And this one, I think I had blue. I don't know what I had on this one, but this one's different from the other blue one. Where's the other? Yeah. I think this, I also had an underglaze on this one. And I believe that it was green. And then, because this is just sea mist on bare clay with no underglaze. And then this one has an underglaze, and it was green. So that's another interesting little tidbit. Here's another toothbrush holder. I like these things. They're handy. You can put them in the dishwasher and clean them up if you need to. And if you have a family, you're going to need to. So, okay, here's another. This is a texture wheel. I've had this for a while, and I've used it a lot, but because it wasn't glazed, the thing, you know, I'd hold it right. Let's see. Well, that's not coming off. I would put my thumb and forefinger right where that hole is and just roll it along, but I couldn't very easily because it wasn't glazed. And now that it's glazed, I think I can use it a little better. And here's another, last but not least, here's another one of the ribs. And that's how I glaze them. For that person that was asking about how in the world do you glaze them fire them if you put glaze on both sides. And that's how. It's easy. You just have to do a little sanding on one side when you get them out. And then there's our last little candle holder. So that's it, guys. Holy cow, I'm just dripping. So I'm going to go back in and drink something cold and sit down. Okay? All right, love you. Thank you for watching. Bye-bye.